Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another fragrance review. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And today I have the pleasure of talking to you guys a little bit about one of the newer releases by the company Valentino, and this fragrance goes by the name Uomo Intense. So stay tuned. Now, Valentino Uomo Intense was released in 2016. The perfumer for this one, I would go as far as saying, although I couldn't find a whole lot of information, I believe it's Olivier Polge. He has done the original. He has also done the first formulation of Dior Homme. Here I have the original Valentino Uomo, just for reference, and this one was released in 2014, and now we have Valentino Uomo Aqua, which is coming out in 2017. Now, this is classified as a leather scent, but I don't think leather is the dominant note in this one. So let's go ahead and start things off by taking a closer look at the presentation. So the Intense version is on the right, and here's a comparison to the original. The original has the dark juice inside, but with a gold plate and a clear glass and a gold neck. This one is all black, very sophisticated, and I love the presentation. I love the studs. The atomizer on this one works really, really well, really nice distribution. And then at the bottom, of course, you have your serial number, which is right at the very bottom. That's where you know to locate it if you're trying to avoid a counterfeit. And that was the presentation for Valentino Uomo Intense. So when you first spray this fragrance on, you are going to get that iconic iris note. For those of you who don't know, iris is a floral note, and it does smell a lot like lipstick or a cosmetic bag. You have it in fragrances like Tuberose 1 by Histoire de Parfum, La Tessa by Masque Milano, even Dior Homme and Dior Homme Intense by Christian Dior. And it's a very similar note that was used in here, except in here you had this sort of hazelnut note that really gave it personality. And in this one, you do have some other sweet nuances, like you have vanilla and you have tonka bean. So overall, imagine a vanilla laced lipstick. That's basically what this one smells like. And for that reason, you'll hear a lot of people saying that women love this one. They gravitate towards this one. It has a sort of quality that they can resonate with. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I sort of believe in that statement. Now, it is sweet, but the sweetness isn't so dominant and domineering. It doesn't take over the composition, despite the fact that you have both vanilla and tonka bean. And for those of you who don't know, tonka bean does have a vanillic overtone to it. Now, this one is more about the leather, and it's more about the iris. I get the leather far more strongly in this one than I do with the original, and for that reason, you'll hear a lot of reviewers, myself included, say that this is a denser, fuller version of the original. Now, the one thing that kind of drew me back a little bit is that in the original, it did have this marron glacé note, this hazelnut note, that gave it this unique personality and really made it stood out. And I went as far as saying it smelled a lot like Dior Homme. There are times when I felt like this did warrant a purchase because it was different enough, and other times when I said, you know what, they're both iris, just wear one or the other. You don't necessarily need to have both. Well, in this one, they changed the formula just enough that it makes it much different from this one and Dior Homme, but it puts him more in the vein of Dior Homme Intense, where you have that ambrette, musk mallow, that sweet pear note, depending on the formulation, and it smells really, really good. Listen, guys, I shouldn't have waited so long to review this one, and I do apologize, but this one is fantastic. And I don't know when I'm releasing this video, but you guys know that it made my top 10 favorite spring fragrances of 2016 list, 2017, excuse me, even though it was released in 2016. I think it's a wonderful scent, and my wife loves it too. She did make the comparison to lipstick, but nonetheless, she did enjoy it quite a bit. And let's go ahead and finish things off by taking a look at my rating. First up, I took a look at the uniqueness in the overall smell, and it's not really a unique scent in the sense that, yes, it does smell like Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, the original Valentino. I'm sure the new Aqua version is going to have some influences in there that sort of resemble or pay a nod or homage to its predecessor, but nonetheless, it is an iris-based scent, but I like that it's a fuller, richer, and more robust version than its predecessor due to the inclusion of the note of leather and some of those sweet notes in the bottom, like the vanilla and the tonka bean. Now, it also has like clary sage and another note. Don't really get too much of that. As far as performance on this one, it's solid. 8+ hours. Projection is going to jump up off your skin for 2.5 to 3 hours. It becomes a skin scent, I want to say right about the 6.5 to 7 hour mark, which is really good longevity, and I actually even got a couple of compliments when I wore this to work. Somebody leaned in for a hug, I believe it was a coworker, and she said, "You always smell good." So take that with a grain of salt. In terms of versatility, I would say this one is really great for the spring and fall, those intermediary seasons. And because of the florals, I think this is a great fragrance for the spring, although you could probably wear this one on a cool summer day or a warm winter night. I would also say this could work on both men and women just as well because of the iris note, right? And the sweetness as well. And I think this one does cater to a younger crowd, and some might even go as far as saying it caters to a metrosexual crowd, or a guy that's sort of into himself and very well groomed and not aggressive, and you guys get the drill. So presentation on this one I think is gorgeous. Listen, if I had to give this one an overall score, I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 5. I think this is a fantastic scent. It does everything that it's supposed to. I do think in many ways it's an improved version over the original. It lost some qualities, but it added some new ones. And for that reason, I do think it warrants a purchase. If you smell it in the air though, you won't really, I know I wouldn't be able to tell which is which, but when you do a side by side, you do begin to notice on the nuances that separate the original from the recent release. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Valentino Uomo Intense. If you own or have tried this scent, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos, and don't forget to enable notifications. Remember, I smell well so you can smell good. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.